I've not got my iPad set up, so hopefully you can see the slides.
Yeah, I see that one.
Cool. So welcome, guys, to the Elementor Sydney February 2022 meetup. We hope that 2022 is a better year. Can't be any worse than last year. Touch wood. Shouldn't say things like that. And we thought we'd kick off 2022's meetups with something a little bit simple, something on everyone's kind of agenda just now. It's kind of making money, especially from like online on websites. There's a lot of people who are out of jobs or looking to pivot jobs or just looking to generate a different way of making money. So I put together a little collection of ideas about how you can make money from your website in 2022. It's not exclusive, but it should give you guys a little starter for 10 if that's something that you're looking into. Here's the agenda. What we normally try to do, we try and start on time at 6 or as close to it as we can. We do a little welcomes, a little bit of introductions as well about us and about you guys as well. Cover something new in Elementor, see what's new in the Elementor world, and then we'll kick off on the topic as well. Feel free to ask questions throughout as well, or you can pop them in chat if you want to be silent for those. We tend to have Q&A at the end. If we miss anything, we'll try and collect all those together. And we try to finish around about 7 or 7:30 if people are got lots and lots of questions. So we'll try and finish pretty early-ish so you can get on with your evening. So here we are. We're the organisers. So I'll let everyone introduce themselves. I'll start. My name is Will Brown. I've been one of the WordPress Meetup co-organisers for many years. My background in WordPress, I've been using it since 2006. I'm a core contributor, I'm a WordCamp organizer, and lots of other stuff in between. But generally, my day-to-day business, I'm a WordPress consultant. So I help companies connect WordPress together with other enterprise systems and other tools as well. I give advice as to how best to use WordPress as well. And occasionally, I actually jump into code and write things as well. But I'm here today as one of the organisers for the Elementor Sydney, and we look forward to having you guys on board this year with some exciting topics that we're going to try and get together this year. John, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yes, thanks, Will. So I am John, and I am a graphic designer, and I do a lot of work in web design, and Elementor has been my best friend for the last 2 or 3 years. I'm getting a lot of work through Elementor now, and I am a member of the Elementor experts page, which started off very slowly for me, but I keep getting like about 5 or 6 messages a day now on that. People who just want a lot of work done on their website. I must have impressed them somehow. But yes, that's why I love Elementor. Over to Julia.
All right. Thanks, John. So I'm Julia. I'm a web designer. I work for a software company as a web designer there, but I also own my own business on the side, a digital agency, and we do a bit of everything: graphic design, web design and development, social media management. And yeah, I've been using Elementor for a few years now. I love it. I love working with these guys in the pictures here, and it's great to be here. Maurice.
And I'm Maurice Cohen. I'm a finance person, been doing finance, full-time career in finance, business intelligence, and do websites on the side, and found Elementor a couple of years ago, and yeah, building lots of hobby websites and things like that. And here to learn and share with everybody else.
Awesome. Thank you very much, guys. Next, code of conduct. Let's see if I can copy this link. I'll put it into the chat down here. But we abide by the Elementor code of conduct. I'm not going to go through the entire code of conduct. You can read it for yourselves, but it's basically be nice to everyone. And we've got some familiar faces here today, so I know you guys are all super nice anyway. But we do welcome everyone into this group, so experts and novices as well. So everyone, we try and cover to everyone's talents, everyone's skills. We do actually, I need to make that little change there. So all the announcements now, we've actually moved, Elementor's moved all their groups away from Meetup group as of this month. So you'll get notifications through the events.elementor.com. So I'll change that slide. Try and keep things fun. So switch on your cameras if you can, but keep yourself on mute until you've got some questions to ask. You can drop some questions in the chat box as well. We are totally fine about kid bombing and pet bombing. That's, you know, everyone's used to that over the last couple of years. That's totally fine. Just as long as you relax and just have a great time, then everyone will be happy. And so guys, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of chance just to introduce yourselves if you'd like. You don't have to. If you'd like to, then you can like raise your actual hand, or you can click on one of the reactions down there and raise your hand and then give yourself a little bit of introduction. Just let us know who you are, what you do, and why you're here in the Elementor Meetup group. Oh, and more importantly, what you're drinking. I've got my decaf tea tonight. There we go. No introduction tonight. That's okay. We can just sit back and watch. Okay, let's jump into some news. So as I mentioned before, Elementor is saying goodbye to Meetup.com. So we've all used Meetup.com for many years. It's been a great platform, but it's not suited to Elementor's needs. They were trying to bring everything in-house under their control. So as of February, end of February, then Elementor meetups are going to permanently migrate across to the events.elementor.com website. And they're no longer going to be hosted on the meetup.com. So if you see things disappear, that's okay. They'll still be there, but just under a new name. A couple of announcements from Elementor and WordPress. So we had Elementor 3.5 was released in December. Actually, Elementor 3.6 was just released, I think, today, but I don't have any of those notes at hand. But there's been a lot of stuff put in the last couple of releases for Elementor. We're talking about the Pro version here. There's a link there, and we'll make the slides available after the meetup on the websites and on the meetup page itself, so you can get all these links. But there's a lot of new things. So you can actually mark widgets now, or Elementor elements as favorites. So if there's something that you use all the time, you can mark it as a favorite and it comes up towards the top, which is quite handy. There's now drag and drop for media. So you can drag directly from your local PC onto the Elementor canvas and it will bring it in rather than having to do like the upload button, which is great. They've done a lot of work on Woocommerce stuff as well over the last couple of releases. So whereas before you could do your single product page and your product archives, you couldn't really do anything about the cart or the checkout. That's now, you can now actually do all those things. So you can design your cart, you can design your checkout page as well. So all those elements are in there to drag and drop. And most recently on 3.6, you can actually define the design for the notifications that come up with WooCommerce. So if you're into WooCommerce as well, they're adding as much integration as they can within the actual Pro Elementor. So rather than you having to go out to get a third-party plugin for that. So keep watching. They're going to put in a lot more WooCommerce stuff in the future as well from that. Another big release, you guys have probably noticed, but WordPress 5.9 was released a few days ago. And there's a link there to a field guide on the notes, and we'll release all those links afterwards. But if you haven't upgraded already, WordPress 5.9 is a super big release. Now, WordPress long ago, or Automatic long ago, they got rid of this kind of big point release. So whereas you might get things like Microsoft or Apple would come out with a version 5 or version 6 that you get all the groovy stuff in. WordPress decided maybe a couple of years ago just to keep going on with point releases. So 5.8 didn't have very much stuff in it. 5.7 didn't have very much stuff in it. 5.9 has heaps of stuff, but they're not making a big deal. It's just another point release for them. So this release here, it includes pretty much an entire full site editing suite. And what that means is that you don't need to have anything like these page building tools or any separate plugins to be able to edit things like your header area and your footer area, and all the different templates as well. So you can now natively do everything through just the WordPress editor. Now it's a bit clunky, and it has to go through a lot of refinements over the next few months and releases, but it's there, it's out there. So you can at the moment, as long as you've got a block compatible theme, so it ships with 2022, which is the default theme for 5.9, and that's what we call a block enabled theme, and that allows you to be editing the headers and the footers and all these bits of WordPress that before you need to go out to a developer or a designer to be able to create a theme for you. You should be able to do all that within WordPress 5.9. So it's pretty exciting. They certainly raised the game as far as being able to allow people to create an entire website. It's not quite in the ranks of Elementor or Beaver Builder or Divi or anything else that's out there just yet. Definitely nowhere close to that, but it is making WordPress more accessible to everyone. So now you can build a whole website just with WordPress rather than having to use a third-party plugin. So really, really good for that. Probably the best non-full site editing feature for WordPress 5.9 is that they have fixed the lazy loading. People have seen a 30% increase in speed of their websites just because of this particular fix. Now, it was identified a couple of versions ago by some people in Google that the way that WordPress was lazy loading images in, and if you don't know what lazy loading is, that means when you load a web page in, it just loads the stuff that you can see in the monitor. And then as you scroll up, it then loads extra stuff back in from the server as you scroll. But some people from Google, some of the engineers at Google, they found that the way that WordPress was loading in the images was pretty inefficient. And they've worked over the last couple of months to fix that. And most people are getting about a 30% increase in page speed, which is phenomenal. So if you haven't upgraded to 5.9, I would do that just now on a test or a development server, and just have a quick look at the page speed and see if you get a bit of an increase for those. So that's quite a bit of news this time. So Elementor 3.5 and 3.6, the pro versions, and of course WordPress 5.9, that big release. So lots of stuff there for you to have a look at and experiment with on those new versions. Let's jump into it. So the top today is ways to a loose connection here. The topic today is ways to make money from your website in 2022. So this topic is for everyone. So for startups, for people who are already got a design or a development business, or people who have maybe got a side gig, or people who are looking to get into more online stuff as well. So I've basically created a few ideas on how you can start generating money with your website. Now, of course, there's heaps and heaps of ways to make money using websites. So I'm not going to cover all of them, otherwise you'll be here all day. But these are probably some of the more popular ideas that people are using just now to make money, or even like to run a side gig, or even turn that side gig into a full-time business. Okay, so let's start with the obvious one. The obvious money-making website is to set up an online shop. But what sort of stuff can you sell online? Well, there's really kind of two things you can sell online. One is physical products. So that's an actual thing that you have to ship using a courier to a customer. Or you can sell what's called a virtual or digital product. And that's something you'd email or download once you've bought that. So some things to consider when you're selling physical products. So if you're thinking about setting up an online store, some things to consider would be like stock and inventory management. How much stuff are you going to have? How much are you going to actually be able to physically retain to send out? Do you need space in a spare room? Do you need to convert your garage? Do you need to buy a warehouse? So there's that sort of stuff. Or you could do drop shipping. Drop shipping is where you don't actually hold the stock or inventory. And what you do is you pass that on to someone else. You pass the order to a fulfillment, and they then take care of shipping the physical product away to you. And a lot of people like this option because you don't have to hold the stock for these. So you can scale that as well. And you don't have to bother about shipping. And shipping is probably a big, big pain point when you're setting up an e-commerce store for physical products. So selling physical products as well, some other things, of course, is shipping and tracking. So you've got to think about domestic deliveries and international orders as well. Who do you ship with? What's shipping rates do they have? How does your product fit in with the sizes as well? I had a client last year who sold garden related stuff, and their main big seller was just bigger than one of the Australian Post sizes, which meant put them into that next big category of shipping costs, which was a bit of a pain for them. So shipping is a big thing when you're talking about physical products. And tracking as well. What sort of tracking services are you going to offer, if any? Is it going to be Australia Post, or are you going to use like third-party tracking systems and couriers as well? So for physical products as well, you've got to think about things like returns and refunds. So that could be for damages and for unwanted things as well. So setting up a shop, sounds like a simple thing, and there's lots of good plugins out there to do that. But when you actually kind of peel back the layers, there's kind of a lot of logistics and setups and processes that go with setting up any type of e-commerce store, but especially if you're selling physical products. Now, things to think about when you're selling virtual products. So these are, we're talking about emails and downloads. So it might be MP3s, it could be videos, it could be pictures, packages, ebooks, that sort of stuff, courses. So things to consider with that is like digital theft and protection as well. So if you're somebody's purchasing a digital product, the usual process is they pay, then an email is sent with a download link, they download it back. So you can't really stop them. You can't really give that product back because it's a digital one. So you have to think about like copyrights. You have to think about refunds as well. How's your refund policy going to be enabled? If someone wants their money back for a digital product, they already have it, can't give it back. It's not like a physical thing. Digital theft and protection. So if you're selling copyrighted stuff, so that could be music, it could be pictures, it could be knitting patterns. I've had a client who sold knitting patterns before. How are you going to deal with theft and protection if someone's downloads your stuff or gets your stuff and then starts to resell it as well? And copyright as well. So you got to think about copyright infringement. Does your digital product, does it include any pictures or sound that's copyrighted by anyone else? And again, if someone steals that, how do you then enforce that copyright for there? So quite a lot to think about for an e-commerce store. There's also things that you can sell as well as like virtual products. So you could sell simple services. You can, for example, if you're a developer or a designer or a copyright person, you can sell things like website SEO audits from your website, website health checks, website hack restores, logo design services, content copying, graphics, logo and branding. So there's lots of things that you can sell within your product, within your website at the moment, without actually being like a fully fledged e-commerce store. You can just kind of sell those digital products in there. Let's see. So there's a couple of other things. Let's see. Easy sells. So here are some of the easy things to be able to sell from your website right now. So we covered SEO things, website health checks. So it really does depend on what industry and niche that you're in. But if you're a copyright person, you can sell content creation, for example. You could sell social media management as well, or SEO audits or SEO packages as well. So some quite easy sells. And setting up something like Woocommerce, there's a link for Woocommerce there. It's probably one of the more popular online e-commerce stores for WordPress, and it's super simple to use. It's totally free. But if you're looking to sell some of these kind of easy services within your website, then Woocommerce is probably one of the best plugins to do that. So download Woocommerce. It comes with PayPal by default. There's a free Stripe gateway as well, which allows you to take credit cards as well for roughly the same payment fees as PayPal. So it's a super simple way, really easy way to start to ease yourself into this kind of e-commerce store by enabling WooCommerce on your website and just selling some of those things, those kind of adjacent services that people might look for, things like health audits and SEO things. Here's a bit of a bizarre one that I plugged out of the ether. So we're kind of going along the e-commerce route at the moment. So if you've got WooCommerce installed, there is actually an auction plugin for WooCommerce. Now, it's not eBay. It's nowhere near eBay, but it does cover the basics. So it allows you to set up a basic auction website. So you can have products, services for things like that. You can have bidding for that. You can set a bid threshold as well, or you can enable things like eBay has for like buy now. So it's like a set price that people can buy that. So you can auction off physical products, you can auction off services, you can auction off virtual products as well. But it's certainly something interesting to look at. I had this, I think it was a meetup about 5 years ago. Somebody was already using this, and I didn't realize it was out there. So they gave a little talk at the WordPress Sydney meetup about this auction plugin, and it was fascinating, the sort of things that they were selling. So they started off small, and then they ended up auctioning things like boats and cars and houses and whatnot. So it's certainly not something to be sniffed at. It could be a good money income generator for you. Talking about WooCommerce as well, another plugin that you can use is the Amazon affiliates. So if you're thinking about looking to do down the affiliate route, particularly Amazon's got a very good setup where they share that commission with you. So Amazon obviously used to be started out with books, but now it pretty much sells anything and everything. So if you're looking to get into this kind of affiliate brand, so whereby you're not doing the full e-commerce store, so you're not doing drop shipping, you're not having all the products. So you basically use Amazon as their whole fulfillment service, but you have the products on your website. So your website acts kind of like a gateway through. And then once somebody purchases that, then you get a slight percentage of that particular sale for those. Now, this can be really good if you can find really niche and trending things at the moment. You can actually make quite a lot of money off that. I know quite a few people, and this is their full-time job. This is what they do, Amazon affiliates. And they're always on Google looking for top trends. So it could be a kid's toy. Remember those spinning widgets a few years ago? Somebody like bought a heap of those, made a lot of money on those. Kitchen utensils as well. That's a huge market for kitchen utensils. Things that come in like I think last year or the year before, it was the sausage roll maker that came in. One of my ex-clients, he runs Amazon affiliate stuff. He bought a whole heap of those. He made a lot of money on that. So if you do it well, then using Amazon affiliates and getting commission back on that, you can really set yourself up for quite a lot of money, quite a lot of good money as a side gig. Or if you go full in, then yeah, it can certainly generate a lot of income for you. But it's definitely a different way of thinking about getting money in. And of course, you can sell your time as well. So we talked a little bit about selling things for your website, but this is more, this plugin here, this WooCommerce bookings, it's more catered for the more professional stuff. So this is like selling your time for money. So things like booking-based stuff, so appointment-based services, services or rentals for as well. So things like cleaning. For cleaning services, you could run a cleaning service from this particular plugin that's in WooCommerce. Dog walking, I did a dog walking website for somebody a few years ago, and it ran under this WooCommerce bookings as well. I've had somebody buying car trailers and then hiring them out using WooCommerce bookings. That was a big seller for them over the last couple of years, people moving houses and having to travel around. So anything you sell your services, so it could be copywriting as well if you're one of those, or it could be logo and brand design. You could sell batches of time for those, or even retainer packages as well, where you've got an amount of time that you spend with a client. So this WooCommerce bookings, you can easily do that. Okay, so that's it for WooCommerce. Or maybe it isn't. No, we've still got WooCommerce. So let's move on to some different types of sites. So those were kind of more e-commerce, time-based selling things, like selling physical products, digital products, and your time. So now we're kind of moving on to different types of ways to make money. So this one is on membership sites. Now I've got a couple of plugins mentioned there, and that's for WooCommerce, but you don't have to set up a membership site using WooCommerce. So the idea of membership sites, obviously you've got some content that's public, and that's to kind of tease people to come in. And then you've got gated content. So that's content behind the paywall that people are going to pay for to get that premium access. Now that content can be anything. So it could be videos, it could just be how-to guides for those. It could be a forum, it could be a portal for different information. Anything at all that people will find valuable and could sign up for. And usually have 2 or 3 different levels. For membership sites, usually have like a lower level to try and entice people to come in, and maybe a middle level as well, and a pro level as well. Usually when you start to medium and pro levels, you're starting to include your time as well. So a very basic membership site would probably have content that you then consume yourself. And then going up to like a medium or pro level, you'll probably start to get kind of live one-to-one interactions, maybe access to a forum where you can ask people in kind of real time for that. But membership sites work really, really well, but they do take quite a lot of looking after as well. So a membership site isn't just something you can set up and kind of just let go, especially if you want to build that community. It's going to take quite a lot of time and effort, but if done well, the membership sites can really, really take off. I had a client who had what would you call it? It was called Whodunit, Catch Whodunit, and it was like a murder mystery. And what people would do is they'd subscribe in, and then you'd have new cases every month. And over the subsequent days, over like 6 or 7 days, then you get like little hints that would drop down. That included video, included some pictures as well. And all the clues were there if you try and figure out who done it. And every month there'd be a new case for that. And that was all done using Woocommerce and the membership sites for those. So that was quite an interesting way. But, membership sites can work for some people, but it does require a fair bit of effort, I would say, to pull off a really, really good one. So not just WordPress and not just WooCommerce, sorry. So there's other ones out there. So MemberPress as well is a complete package. So that means you don't need WooCommerce in the back end. It's a complete plugin. So if you install MemberPress, then you get to install groups and group access. You can get all the different member levels as well. There's payment gateways in there for Stripe and for PayPal and all the good stuff in there. Another one as well that you can use is Restrict Content Pro. I've used this heavily in quite a few membership sites before. It works really, really well. And again, it's like an all-in-one membership thing. So it allows you to define the groups and all the different levels, who has access to what. And you can have as many different layers, different subscription models as you want. And again, it comes with all the different payment gateways, as does this one here. This is currently my favorite one, AR Member. So I've set up a couple of plugins, a couple of websites with AR Member. It's a lovely little plugin. It's probably not as powerful as the last two, but I think all the little features that it comes with and just all the admin functions that it gives you and all the stats and graphs and things, I think that's just like an all-rounder for its price. It's a really, really good way of being able to create like a membership site AR Member. Okay, so let's look at some alternative ways to make some money. Podcasting. So I think last year, 2021 was named as the year of the podcasting, as was 2020 and as is 2022. So podcasting is growing hugely at the moment. It's probably the top accelerated thing that people are consuming, content that people are consuming at the moment, aside from video, is podcasting. So because people have stuff to do, it's easy just to plug yourself in and start listening to a podcast. Whereas videos demand your attention and time, podcasting you can kind of do other stuff while you're listening to. So podcast has become really, really big. It certainly will be growing in 2022. But how can you make money out of podcasting? Well, you need to build up your user base, first of all. So you need to build up your listeners. So it does require a little bit of planning, a little bit of content dropping, so you're going to start your episodes, growing your episode list, growing your email subscribers list as well. But once you do get a fairly good subscriber base, then you can reach out to maybe sponsors. So sponsorship could be a big thing for you to do with podcasting. Mention the sponsor's name, drop a few links in there in exchange for a particular yearly fee or a monthly fee they might want to sponsor you with those. And affiliate marketing as well. So once you start talking about tools and services within your podcasting, so stuff that you use, you can then become an affiliate member with those people and promote that using the podcast. So if you're reaching 100 people and maybe get 50 people click on the links, that's not too bad. But if you're growing your podcast to thousands or tens of thousands of people, then affiliate linking can make a lot of money from podcasting as well. And if your podcast is good enough, then you can get invited on other podcasts. And yes, people do get paid for being guest speakers on podcasts in the same way as they would get paid for keynote speaking as well, like a live gig as well. So podcasting is definitely increasing this year. So it might be something that you want to get into and try and make a little bit of money once you build that community from. That's kind of a sip of tea. Okay, so blogging and advertising. This one is a little bit more laid back. So membership sites and podcasting is a lot of work to do. But this one can certainly make money as well. So what we're talking about here is basically having a website which you blog content on. It's usually probably going to be like a niche market. So something like a vertical market, something very specific. But you're going to build up content so that you're coming up high on Google. You're ranking high on Google. It's basically, it's kind of like buying an old house and almost flipping it. You know, you're building up the content, you're doing the exterior, you're making everything nice, you're making it well known. So once you start building that content, become an authority on Google, and your content starting to come up for that particular niche, then you can start adding things like Google AdSense. And yes, Google AdSense has been around for many, many years, but you know, it works a lot for people. And if you've got a high traffic rate, so if you're getting like the thousands of people reading your blog articles, you know, every day, then it only takes a few fraction of those people to click on the Google AdSense, go through, make that purchase, and you're starting to make that commission on that. As well as advertising. So advertising can be very, very big if you've got a popular niche blog as well. So you can start selling parts of the website, parts of the articles for advertising as well. So that could be a main banner across the top of the front page, or it could be a sidebar on one of the actual articles as well. Or you could start selling like content space within the articles. So I've seen adverts within the middle of articles, as well as the top and the bottom, all different prices, of course, depending on the visibility for those. But certainly, you know, blogging and advertising can be very, very lucrative. There's a website, and unfortunately the URL just has slipped me, but it's something along the lines of how to make profits from home. And what these guys do, they teach you how to find a niche, find a vertical market, and then dominate that to become like the expert on it. So we're talking about very, very, very niche down. You become the expert with that by adding content and being better than everyone else's. Therefore, you end up, you know, in the top 10 in Google, and then you start, you know, building up your audience and a lot of traffic to that website. These guys, I think, actually flip the websites after that. So once it becomes popular, once they've got Google AdSense, once they've got advertising, once they've got money coming in, they can then actually flip those websites and make additional money from that by selling it off to people. So don't discount the humble blogging and advertising. Now, we've talked a little bit about affiliate marketing as well, but it's quite a powerful tool and a great way to make additional money. I've got quite a lot of affiliate stuff on my website, and I get quite a good trickle of money that comes through every month. But you know, you can really pump that and make that into like a full-time gig. And again, if you combine this with the previous one. So just say you've set up a little niche blog, you've got the traffic, you've got your advertising, you've got your affiliate marketing, then times that by 10. Find another 9 niche markets, link it in with affiliate marketing, and you've not only got one stream of revenue coming in, you've now got 9, you've got 10 streams of revenue coming in. So that's what it's all about when you want to make lots of money online, is don't just have one revenue stream, have multiple revenue streams coming in. But affiliate marketing is really, really good. As long as it's done well. So you have to provide content that people find useful. You have to serve people. So any sort of rubbish in there is not going to work with affiliate. It needs to be strong information that people really, really need. And then at that point, you can then say, well, this will complement this data, this book, or this particular product or this particular service. So as long as it's a really strong link with that, then your affiliate marketing will work really, really well. What won't work really well is if you just shove random links in with whatever copy. That's not the way to do affiliate marketing. But if you've got a really, really strong call to action with what you're already delivering as content, then affiliate marketing can work really, really, really well. And some of the commissions you can get back are really, really good. So I've seen things like 10 or 12% commission back on particular products and services. So, you know, it's not just the 1 or 2%. If you can get in a really, really niche market, then the percentage of commission get back can be quite high and quite good. Okay, running through these online courses as well. So online courses, like membership sites, require quite a bit of work because you've obviously got to put in all the effort to do the content, to do videos, to do the actual course itself. But once it's done, that can be then just be put on rinse and repeat. So once the content's done, you can then promote that using Google and Facebook ads to bring people in, a few landing pages, and then you can start to resell that. So you should be able to recoup your money back if you've got a really, really good course that people actually want. But that's the key, is to actually make something that people are looking for and not just something you think is a great idea. I think everyone who's created a course, I think, has been burned by that. You have this great idea, you spend hours creating a course and only 2 people buy it. So one of the best things to do when you're thinking about doing an online course is not to build the online course. What you tend to do is just to build a landing page and outline all the benefits and all the things that people are going to get, and drum up excitement and try and get them to sign up there. And if you get lots of signups, that's great. Go and build the course. If you don't get lots of signups, fine, refund the 3 people who signed up, and then you'll find something else. But yeah, so don't waste your time just building a course for course's sake. Make sure that there's actually demand out there. But here are my 3 top online course plugins for WordPress. So LearnDash. That's probably the top one at the moment if you want to run that through your WordPress website. LearnDash does pretty much everything, and it's got hundreds of extensions that let you do everything else for that. It's a really, really big, heavy lifting course plugin. The next one down, I think, is Lifter LMS. It kind of sits kind of a little bit below LearnDash, but again, these are complete online course packages. Very, very good all in themselves. And then under that, there's WP Courseware as well. And it's a little bit more simpler to do. I mean, you might not want to go into the full LearnDash because it's like not enterprise level, but it's like gives you everything you'd ever want from an online course. And that might be a little bit too overwhelming for some people if you're just starting. So maybe Lifter LMS or WP Courseware provides a little bit more simpler structure, a little bit more simpler interface that you can maybe kind of get to grips with your first few courses and kind of get started on that. And you can always migrate to LearnDash or anything else that you want to use later on. Tutorials and how-tos. These are really, really, really popular. So people love paying for tutorials because at the end of the day, people are pretty lazy. And they just want to say, get something done really, really quickly. And ideally, if someone else can show them exactly what to do. So if you're thinking about types of content to sell, and that could be within a course, it could be within a membership site, it could be within like a simple paid gateway. But think about tutorials and think about how-tos. So what's your expertise? What are you an expert in? What sort of a niche do you run? What industry do you run in? Think about things that people do that take them a long time, things that people always ask you questions about. How do I do this? And step-by guides as well. You know, so you know, there are things like just simple like Facebook advertising. You know, if you're an expert in that, then you know, here's your 10-step guide to creating your first Facebook advert. People love that sort of stuff because it's a step guide. People love being led through hand by hand for things. So step 1, do this, step 2, do that. And tutorials as well and how-tos, you know, if you've got a video and show people how to create something, how to make something, how to market something, how to do something quicker, then people will pay for that particular stuff there. And you can use plugins. You can use Woocommerce and you can use a subscription plugin as well if you want to give people access to this content. Or you can use the Restrict Content Pro and those other plugins that I mentioned before to kind of restrict that level so that people are paying for the information. Or you could simply decide to sell it as an ebook or a checklist simply from your website. So there's lots of ways to sell this content, but that particular type of content, tutorials, how-tos, step guides, that's kind of your gold stuff that people are going to pay for. So that was kind of maybe the low fruit or low ticket items like contents and how-tos and checklists. Now we're talking about high ticket items. So this is probably the top stuff that you want to sell. So we're talking about consulting and coaching services here. So these are your high ticket sale items. So you're going to be selling this type of stuff to people who have already bought your checklist, people have already subscribed to your first or second layer of your membership site, people who have been a customer for 3 or 4 years. Basically, people who have already committed time and paid money. You know that they are serious about exchanging their money for your time and for experience and for information. So these high ticket sale items, you were maybe talking maybe about 5,000, 10,000 a pop. So these are pretty serious stuff. So this is right at the bottom of your sales funnel. It's the high ticket people. All you really need to do to sell this is a simple landing page with a payment form. So this can be implemented easily with Elementor forms or something like Gravity forms as well. But and this is the sort of stuff that you market to existing people. People already bought stuff to you because you've already got that trust, you've already got that authority for there. And if you know what they're buying, and if you know how long they've been there and what sort of content they're consuming, then that makes it easier to sell this stuff. Because say, look, you've already got this information, but here, why don't you have, here's my 6-day one-to-one coaching program that will show you how to become, how to get your first 10,000 in affiliate marketing, 10,000 a month in affiliate marketing, that sort of stuff. That's like high ticket sales stuff there, but it's certainly worth considering. There's a lot of people out there with a lot of skills. I chat to all these people at meetups all the time, and they just have all this much experience and all this skill set. And some of them don't realize that they can sell that information, or maybe they're afraid to sell that information, or maybe they've got that kind of imposter syndrome that thinks, nobody wants to buy that stuff from me. That's not true. That's not true at all. Anyone can sell coaching. Anyone can sell experience and stuff. And again, this sort of stuff is it's like your checklists. It's like your how-tos. It's like your step guides, but it's just racking up to that different expert level. So it's this one-to-one coaching. It's like, you come on with me and I'll show you, I'll be on camera. I'll show you exactly what to do. And if you have any questions, I'm right here and you can ask me. And that sort of stuff you can't get from online courses, and you certainly can't get from an ebook. And that's why these sort of things are your high ticket options that you can sell for those. Okay, we're getting to the end almost. So here are some trending niches. So if you don't have a particular vertical or idea as to where to start in, maybe you're being like an all-rounder, you've been doing copywriting to everyone, you've been doing design to everyone, you haven't really been in a particular industry. Here's some really trending niches that you might want to get into if you're looking to do one of these things in a particular niche or industry. Here are some examples. So trending niches is fitness. So fitness is probably one of the top niches at the moment. So if you don't know where to go into, fitness would be a good one at the moment, especially with the pandemic. People have been at home. A lot of people have been using that opportunity to get fit. Obviously, they can't go out to gyms and stuff, or they might be afraid to go out to gyms and stuff, so they're hitting all the online. So fitness is a really, really big niche that you can get into for any of these things that I'm talking about. So it could be step 2 instructions on how to start your first fitness program, if you want to shed some pounds, all the way up to you could be dancing online and showing people how to fit. You can be a personal trainer as well. So lots of these things I've described before could fit well within this particular fitness niche. Now, along with fitness, health and wellness is also one of these kind of trending niches as well. So things like yoga, things like diet, things like just taking care of yourself, having some personal time for yourself, skilling up on your skills, lifestyle as well, lifestyle choices. So health and wellness is very, very big at the moment. So that's kind of the wellness, the health side as well. You get into more kind of medical stuff. So, if you want to get really kind of niche down, you could go into like dietary options, or you could go into natural remedies, that sort of thing. You could be like an expert in that. But health and wellness, very, very trending niche at the moment, as well as food and recipes. And again, probably because of the pandemic, people being at home, you're probably sick of getting takeouts, and you're thinking, well, I can get healthier, I can make that stuff. But people love to do food, and love to eat food, love to experience food, love recipes. So yeah, food and recipes, a huge trending niche at the moment. One of my clients, they are an organic grain seller. And they put a recipe section on their website last year, and that has taken off big time. People just love that. And of course, they can then cross-sell all their products within the recipes. So it's like a win-win for them. But yeah, food and recipes, people love that. They just love seeing the people making stuff, looks simple, and all the recipes and the guides for those as well. The last one that I have for trending niches is vertical reviews. So people love this stuff. People consume all these review sites. So it can be anything. People love to see things being unboxed. There is a huge unboxing niche at the moment. So, people will get a box and they'll just video and they'll take out what's in the box and show you what it is, show you the documents, plug it in, switch it on, set it up. That sort of stuff is just huge. People will just sit there and watch that for hours. And of course, if you're on YouTube, if you've got a YouTube channel for that, then you can start monetizing YouTube as well. Electronics is huge as well. There is a guy who's got a YouTube channel and he basically takes things apart. So he started off just taking household things apart just to see what was inside them. And after 3 or 4 years, people are sending him stuff to take apart. So people are sending him scooters, people are sending him oscilloscopes, anything and everything he gets in the mail. And he then, says who it's from, he shows it, switches on, and then takes it apart. So, vertical reviews. So if there's something in your particular niche or industry that you can really look at, review that, show it how it works. It doesn't need to be unpacking. But that is really trending just now. It's like showing people how things work, take things, look at it, play with it, set it up and show people how to use it. People just love that sort of stuff. So I have talked now for probably about an hour. My throat's getting a bit sore. So sorry about that. That was a lot of information that I just wanted to throw in at the moment, but there is a little bit more. So I'm going to hand over to John. John's got a couple of slides in here, and he's going to talk about a particular way of making money as well. So John, do you want me to control the slides?
If you can switch it over to me to share my screen so I can just show what I've got.
No worries, I'll just stop my share.
Okay, and if I go, how do I share? If I press it. Yeah. Can you guys see that?
Looks good.
Yep. So yeah, a lot of what Will has talked about there, a lot of it kind of comes down to having a website or social media or your own YouTube channel that a lot of people kind of come to, or you work a lot on your SEO and stuff. I kind of have none of those things. And my website is just my portfolio. And I use it to get clients in. Social media, I haven't updated Instagram in about 5 years. And I think I do have a YouTube channel, but I've never used it. So basically what I want to just show you here is just 2 ways that I, as a graphic designer, can make passive income without needing to rely on having a sort of an amazing sort of website that gets a lot of views. And the 2 things I'm going to look at, number 1 is Skillshare, and number 2 is templates. So I'll just show you Skillshare. So this is Skillshare, and this kind of relates to what Will's already talked about, which is sort of online tutoring. I don't know if you know Skillshare, but Skillshare's a little bit different to the ones that he mentioned, in that Skillshare is just kind of a little bit more quirky. It's kind of super creative, all these kind of presenters with a lot of character and stuff like that. So if you're kind of into sort of YouTube making and stuff anyway, then this kind of one's perfect for you. And this is my page. And I have 3 lessons on there at the moment. And they're all about web design. And 2 of them are straight about using Elementor. And the interesting thing that Will talked about was make something that people actually want to watch. And that's the difference of the 3 here, in that the one that has got me the most views and has made me the most passive income is how to use Elementor. It's quite straight and to the point. And I think that's kind of where I've semi-failed with the other 2, in that the other one is, it's about Elementor, but it's about creating your own portfolio. And then the other one, which is just a very short one anyway, is just about optimizing your images for a faster website. But the one that's really done well is this one, which is how to use Elementor to build an awesome website. I just have it sort of running in the background here. I don't think I can get the sound to work, but yeah, it's just kind of me talking a lot to the screen and showing you how to use Elementor. And the beauty of this one is that it is all passive income. Each of them took me quite a bit of time to make, but I earn passive income directly from this. And I earn about 10 cents per minute that is watched. So as you can see from this one, it lasts 2 hours and 23 minutes, and I've had 743 students, which probably sounds like a lot of money, but obviously every single person does watch the whole thing. Sometimes I watch for 1 minute and then not watch it anymore. But yeah, so it's great because I don't have to do any work, any promo. Skillshare do all of that for me. They promote it. I just sit back and enjoy the passive income coming in. If you do have your own social media channel that you get a lot of followers on, or if you have a YouTube channel and you've already made one of these, then you can just send everybody there. The other thing that you get is you get affiliates from this. So for everyone that I recommend, you will get a 30-day free trial with Skillshare, and I get $10. So if you have a big social media following, you can kind of get, 1,000 people to do that as well. That's an extra 10 grand. I will share my link on this one in a minute. If you all want free Skillshare, and I will then get $10. So let's move that another way. And then this is the other thing that I get passive income from. This is Creative Market. And Creative Market works similar to someone like Envato, where I can sort of sell templates to everything. So once I've made the template, that's it. I've done all the work. And as a graphic designer, I also use InDesign a lot, and I make books and magazines. And I have created 3 templates on here. And when people buy this, so basically, yeah, it's just templates of how to make a cookbook. This one is a recipe book. And when people go on here, they can buy it, and they have 3 different options. One, which is personal use, and then more commercial uses. Most people who buy on this just buy the personal use one, whether they're actually using it to sell a book. I don't know. And I only get $27 per one, and Creative Market will take about 40% of that, but I get the rest. And again, I put these up about 4 years ago, and every month some money will just come in without me doing anything. So it's another great source of passive income. So yeah, so if you don't have a website that you do a lot of SEO work on that gets a lot of views, if you don't have a big social media following and you want to get started on something, these are 2 things that you can do. You can teach stuff on Skillshare, you can sell templates on Creative Market, and they do all the promotion for you. So yes, those are my things. I will pass it back over to you, Will.
Great, thanks, John. If we're talking about other websites, we should probably mention Canva. Canva is quite big.
Yep.
For selling stuff on, and obviously Fiverr.com if you want to do that. If you don't have your own website, certainly good places to sell. And that's super. That's it for today. So if you guys got any questions, please fire them in chat, or just unmute yourself and ask. We're quite happy to take some questions just now. And John's just dropped that link to Skillshare in the chat if you guys want to have a look at that.
30 days free on Skillshare. Follow that one.
No questions, Will, but can I just say awesome session?
Thanks, Derry.
And Happy New Year to everybody.
I saw you drop in earlier.
Yeah, sorry, I was a couple of minutes late. The traffic's terrible again now.
Do you make passive income, Derry, on anything?
I do some affiliate marketing, I guess you could call it. Yeah. So I haven't promoted it as heavily as I probably should. But the only issue I found with it is that it can be quite complicated. So some of the companies that I've dealt with, it's I think unless you're actually making a lot of money, it can be a little bit difficult. But that's on my list of things to do this year, just really start promoting some of those links and products and things like that. So when it does work, it's really good, though. You get an email saying you've just sold something, and it's a really good way of making a little bit of extra money.
Yep, absolutely. Some of the higher paid commissions for affiliates, they can go through quite a bit of a process when you sign up. But yeah, once it's in place, it's pretty good. So I've got affiliates for WP Engine, for Kinsta, for Flywheel, for Wordify.com, which is my current one. And they're just they come up depending on what type of posts people are reading. So what my biggest earner just now is wordify.com, because I kind of mention it quite a bit in my posts. So yeah, I get a few thousand from them every year, just from affiliate. And I don't do anything.
Yeah.
Just drop a link down in a post somewhere. But if that post happens to get 1,000 or a couple of thousand reads, then 1% of that, if people are clicking through, and then if only 10% of those people actually go ahead and purchase, then that's still a fair bit of money that comes through each time. I do Amazon affiliate links as well. So when I chat about, when I'm doing blog posts, there might be a particular book that I've been reading, that happens to be complimentary for the book, for the content. So I'll just drop an Amazon book affiliate link in there as well. And every so often I'll get a trickle through of a few dollars. It's not huge, but a few dollars every month from book sales, which is great. One of my biggest sellers is actually, what is it? Mark Michnick. He's the hacker guy. So I do the WordPress security, and I mentioned, I think it's called The Art of Invisibility or something, his book. It's a great book for that, and I've got that linked in a few places. I've got it linked in my SlideShare in the presentation as an affiliate link. It's also in the video description for the meetup, and it's also in the content as well for the posts that I write. So even things like I get affiliate links from SlideShare, because it's in the presentation that people look at, and then they click through that and buy the book. So it's not just your website that can make money coming in. Julia, Maurice, do you do any passive income at all? Or anything other than your main revenue stream?
I use Redbubble. I don't know if any of you have used it before or know what it is. It's basically a platform where you can upload your own designs, and they can be applied on different sorts of merch and collateral material that you can sort of sell through them. The share they take is very high. They have quite high rates for delivery. So there's not much there really for us yet, but it might be coming.
I love Redbubble. We used it for the Linux conference the last couple of years. Mm-hmm. I think that the biggest item that was sold was shower curtains. So people had the tux, the little penguin logo on the shower curtains. And then the next one was a throw, like a sofa throw thing. So things you wouldn't think people would actually buy, they did buy. Yeah, I love Redbubble, but yeah, their commission is not very good.
Yeah. But you can sort of personalize and customize a design that maybe someone wants, and just upload it there and tell them to go and buy it through them. So you don't have to think about the whole shipping and, finding the printing company and all of that. So it can
masks were a big thing a couple of years ago. Corporate masks and masks with logos. Cases. Yep.
I was just having a look at Redbubble now. Masks is one of the first things that comes up, and it's still a big thing.
Yeah, it's a good service because, as Julia said, you design like one design, and then they put it on every product. So people just
you can basically control how you want it to look on each item that you want to sell. But unfortunately, their commission is high. The delivery cost also. What I found is it basically increases when you buy more items, which is weird because normally you would have the contrary happen, right? But that's not the case because they have many different, I think, producers who are manufacturing the items in many different places of the world, and that's where the shipping costs just pile up instead of going down.
Yeah, I agree that they're like a portal for drop shipping.
Yeah.
So their website, if you got your design on an antique clock, then they will then source that out to a drop shipping place that will then print it on the clock and then send it out. So yeah, I do like Redbubble. It's got good variety, but pants commission. Yeah. Maurice, do you do any? income other than your mainstream?
Not yet. I'm working on a website that will incorporate much of the stuff that you've spoken about. Affiliate marketing, advertising, basically providing a service for free, but then having advertising on that. So just working on the basics of that at the moment. So nothing really to talk about there, but using much of the stuff that you spoke about tonight. So
Yeah,
maybe in
cool.
another session, I can give an update on that.
Yeah.
I actually had a question in that regards, because I was wondering if you guys, any of you, have any specific plugin or preferred plugin that you would suggest for that sort of activity, advertising within articles or within a website and the different pages. And you know how Will, you mentioned the sidebar, the head banners, or even within the copy of the article itself. Any good suggestions that you have?
I don't have any suggestions for plugins because normally I build that stuff in from a logic point of view, but I've been using GeneratePress for the past couple of years alongside like Elementor. And GeneratePress does allow you to insert different bits in different areas. So it's ideal for advertising, but Elementor would do exactly the same as well. You could design a template with space for a particular part as well. In between content's a little bit more difficult, because you're starting to get into a little bit of code there, but certainly, Elementor would be easy for you to be able to define particular spaces, either above the content or below the content or on a sidebar, or on specific pages as well. Or I've even seen advertising on per category as well. So based on what category of post people are looking at, then you can display different things. For example, on my current website, which is not Elementor, it might be the other one, that begins with B. On my security posts, that's where I advertise my security ebook for downloads. And that's just a simple, same concept as you with Elementor. It's just like an element that's got a condition on it that says, if it's this category, display this on the single post page. Otherwise, just display something else. So,
I guess where I'm having difficulty is trying to work out to do, I don't know if it's called reverse affiliate marketing, where I want to do affiliate marketing for somebody who doesn't have an affiliate marketing program. So not an Amazon type of thing, but let's say Dowie, if you want to go for flying lessons, and how do I get an affiliate marketing working with Dowie? He doesn't have a program, let's say. So I'm trying to work out how to get that sort of thing done. So with random people, photographers or caterers or anything, course producers, but how to get affiliate marketing going, and they don't have such a thing happening. So
okay. How do you bill it and how do you track it?
That's right. Yeah. So trying to do that. And how do I make sure, let's say I pass on the course to Dowie, how do I make sure that he pays me when he's actually, if he sold that course? How do I make sure that I get paid for it?
Yeah, Maurice, I've worked for companies that have had this problem too. Basically, it's almost impossible to manage it really, because with Amazon, you just set it up and then you just sit back and relax and it's all done. And Jeff Bezos will send you 10% regardless. You've got no idea what people are buying or why they're buying it or anything like that. Whereas if you're going to someone who's got like a local company or something, they don't have that system running. What Amazon has, they spent, years setting that up and they have people managing it and everything like that. And you're getting 10%, but they're getting, 90%. It's kind of a difficult one to, you probably want to avoid that really, if possible. I mean, it's difficult. It depends what sort of, what you're focusing on really, which kind of industry you're trying to promote or anything. But yeah, I mean, the ones that I have used, which I haven't really done a lot with, are anything like Elementor. I can make money from Elementor. I have an affiliate thing with that. And I think I get about $25 if someone signs up for it. But again, that's just Elementor. They're a big enough company that I don't have to manage it. I don't have to do anything. So yeah, I try and avoid anything that doesn't have it running basically.
Yeah, so I'm doing the opposite. I'm trying
Okay.
people, so I've got to try and work out how to do that.
Yeah.
There's a couple of plugins. So if you're a WooCommerce, if you've already got WooCommerce, you can get into affiliate, or your clients already have WooCommerce, then there's that one in there in the chat. There's an affiliate for WooCommerce.
Right.
But probably the biggest one for WordPress would be affiliate WP. So that allows you to kind of manage the affiliate links that you're selling. So you can then track, what's coming in, who's been clicking on what, and then you can assign particular commissions. With affiliate WP, you can actually automatically make payments as well through Stripe. So it's a pretty good one if you're thinking about getting to the management side of affiliate.
Right.
If you want to be the affiliate, or if you want to let people to come in to manage the affiliate from your website, then that's probably one of the best ones to look at.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Will.
Okay, guys, what time is it? It is 7:15. So, Kirsty, Murray, James, Dowie, guys, have you got any other questions? If not, then we'll maybe call it a wrap for tonight. Shaking of heads. No. Okay, great. Well, moving on, and we don't have any topic for next month. We'll chat about that over the next couple of weeks and get a few topics in the bank for the next couple of months. So if you just keep an eye on the events.elementor.com, and we'll announce them when they're ready and get someone queued up for the next upcoming months for those. If you guys have any suggestions as well, you can drop them in the comments for this meetup, or you should be able to get in contact with us organizers. Just drop us a few examples. If you're looking for something for us to talk about, it could be on Elementor itself. Obviously, that's our focus. But we also talk about other things like tonight. It's been more business, or we could do a kind of more design stuff or more development stuff as well. So if you guys got any questions, and then happy to take those. Other than that, thank you guys very much for joining us for our first meetup group in 2022. Hopefully you'll join us for next month as well, depending on the topic. And just take care, and thank you very much. I'll see you guys next time.
Thanks very much, Will.
Thanks, Will.
Thanks, John. Thanks, Maurice. Thanks, Julie, as well, for helping.
Thank you.
Catch you later. Bye.
Thanks,
Bye.
everyone.